Students, welcome to your IT class for Thursday. So today we are going to start with our session 5, that is part of a sentence and part of speech. So before starting our today's session, let's have a small recap of what we have done in our last session. In the last session, if you remember, we had done our session 4, that is basic writing skills. So let us recall from session 4. So if you remember in our session 4, that is basic writing skills, we have learned about that a sentence is a group of words that are complete, meaningful, and together it makes sense and convey a specific meaning, fact, message or information. For example, Sheena works in an office. Now in this example sentence, the subject is Sheena and the verb is works, right? So next we have learned about what is a phrase. Now if you remember, a phrase is a group of words that have some sense and also acts as a part of the speech, but is not structurally complete and it does not convey the full meaning. Now for example, if you can see, on the roof, under the table. Now these are examples of phrases, but they are not complete, okay, not structurally complete, and it is not giving any complete full meaning. So what we have to do is we have to add some more words on the phrases to add to the phrases in order to make a complete sentence. Like for example, Ravi is on the roof or my cat is under the table. Okay, after adding some more words to the phrases, it gives a complete meaning and is structurally completed. Then next we have learned about that depending on the purpose of sentences, there can be 4 kinds of sentence. First one is a declarative sentence, okay, which ends with a period, okay, and for example, you can see my mother gifted me a book. Then next we had interrogative sentence, which ends with a question mark, alright, and which always asks a question. For example, where does your friend live? Then we had imperative sentence, okay, which means which gives a command. For example, turn off the lights, alright. Then fourth one we had was exclamatory sentence, which denotes an emotion or a wish. For example, what a weather, and it always ends with a exclamation mark. So this was what we had done in our session 4. So now let's come to our today's session. So the learning objectives of today's class will be, we'll have knowledge on parts of sentence, that is subject, predicate and the object, and part of speech. So let's start with the introduction. So in the last session we have learned about different kinds of sentences. Now we will talk about the parts of sentence and parts of speech. So first is part of sentence. Okay, now let us talk about the various parts of sentence. Now a sentence, as we know, that is a group of words that is complete in its structure and it conveys a proper meaning, a complete meaning. Now remember that a sentence has the following parts: a subject, predicate and an object. Okay, now in its simplest form, a sentence has 2 parts, that is a subject and a predicate. Now first let us know what is the subject. The subject of a sentence tells that who is performing the action of the sentence. It can be a person, a place or a thing. The subject represents what or whom the sentence is about. For example, in the sentence, the old man built a road. Here the subject is who is building the road? The old man. So here the subject is the old man. Next we have is predicate. Now the predicate says something about the subject. The predicate of a sentence includes the verb and everything that follows it. For example, in the sentence that the old man built a road, okay, now the predicate is built a road. That means what the old man did? He built a road. So now the predicate is built a road is called as the predicate. So this was your subject and predicate. Now next we have the object. Now the object is a part of the predicate. Object tells about the things being acted upon the verb. Okay. Now for example, in the sentence, the old man built a road. Okay. Here the object is what? Is the road and the verb is what? Built. So built a road was the predicate. Yes. There from the predicate you have again what? The object. The object is what? Road, and built is what? The verb. So there are many other optional parts of a sentence such as complement, modifier, adverbial, etc. But we are not going to go in details of all these. So next comes your part of speech. If you can remember, we had done in the last class about the different parts of speech. Yes. So we have read about the part of speech in the previous class in session 4 of unit 1, communication skills. So let us quickly revise here. So there are the following part of speech. That is, first one is the noun, a word for a person, place or thing. For example, Rima, Chennai, box, all these are referred to as noun. Then we have a pronoun, a word that stands in for a noun. For example, he, she, I, we, they, he, her, us, him, them, all these are referred to as pronoun. Then we have verb, a doing word. Okay, now cry, jump, is, was, will, pace, all these are referred to as verb. Then we have adjective, a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. For example, green, in green pole, or young, in young girl. Okay, then article, a word introduces a noun. For example, a box, the Taj Mahal, all these referred to as article. Then we had adverb, a word that describes an adjective, adverb or verb. Example, quickly, in he jumped quickly. Okay, so quickly is what? Quickly is an adverb. Then we have preposition, a word that shows the position in time or space. For example, dig in. Okay, now here in dig in is the preposition. Then we had conjunction, a word that connects two sentences together, sometimes called as a connective. For example, and, but. After all, after my fall in the stairs, I cried and my brother laughed. Okay, now here two sentences are joined by and. Okay, so this and is a conjunction. Then we had interjection, an outburst or word people say when they are playing for time. Now for example, hey, well, now, so, all these are examples of interjections. Okay, so this was all about your part of speech. Okay, now let's do a small summary. So here in this session 5, we have learned that a sentence is a group of words that is complete in its structure and it conveys a proper meaning. Then we had that a sentence has the following parts: subject, predicate and object. Okay, the subject is what? Who tells that who is performing the action of the sentence. For example, the old man. Now the old man is the subject. Okay. Then we had predicate that says something about the subject. The old man, yes, built the road. Now build the road is the predicate here. Then object means tells about the things being acted upon by the verb. For example, the old man built. Yes, built is the verb and a road is the object. So this was what we had done in as a part of sentence. Okay. Then we had done about part of speech. So here we have different parts of speech. Yes. Now for example, if we start with noun, right? So noun refers to names of a person, place or thing. Yes. Then determiner, that is articles, right? A and the. Then preposition which shows relationship. Okay. For example, in, on, under, above. Then we had adjective, right, which describes a noun. Then we had conjunction which joins. Okay. Then we had pronoun which replaces a noun. For example, he, she, it, they. Then verb which is an action word. Okay. Then interjection which shows emotion. For example, ouch, hey, all these are interjections. Then we had adverb, now, when, where. Okay, which describes again actions. So this was all the different parts of speech. Okay, so today only up to here. Thank you. Please go to the video once again. Any doubt you can ask me, and after this I have some assignment for you, so please complete it and at the same time keep learning. Thank you. Have a nice